Yo, Zach Bradshaw, the Greensboro SEO Pro, back once again to wax poetic about SEO. Psych, you already read the title. You know I'm just here to talk crap about banner ads, so I'm going to do so very effectively for about the next 5 minutes or so. Taking a look here at ESPN's website. The reason I'm making this video is because I very often see local businesses, to me, paying for these banner ads. Very often these banner ads are gamed, and so this video serves as a video that I can send to many of these businesses. When I see them, I can take a screenshot of it and then send them this video to say like, hey, this is your ad showing, this is why this ad sucks. Would you rather use a digital marketing provider that will actually help you get calls and business, right? So banner ads, they come in video forms, they come in display forms. Or I guess it's display ads come in banner form or in video form. You see the ones that ESPN has right here, right now, are mostly for ESPN itself. And so they're not necessarily ads, but these ones over here very often will go to like Barstool Sports or some other, I don't know, some other affiliate websites. I'm not quite sure how ESPN's network works, but ESPN is really good for showing banner ads, for forcing video ads to play before you try to watch a video on their site. There's lots of complaints I have about the way that ESPN does it, but they're not nearly one of the worst. They're actually usually fairly tasteful and not, you know, like too oppressive or too tricky with the way that they try to do it. So an example of somebody that might be tricky, and this is not, it didn't actually work when I did it on my computer, but the only way I was able to find one of these was I went on Snapchat, clicked on a bunch of stuff that I would not usually click on to try to find one of these websites that does this. Now, this website does it on the mobile phone, but doesn't do it here, and so I'm just going to illustrate to you what I'm talking about. So there's often these websites that'll like tell you a story, and they'll do so with a slideshow where you have to click through to see the next part of the story, right? And you see them a lot. Usually they're longer. The one on my phone is certainly longer than this. It's just like the whole story all together. You see I'm already here on page 5 with, you know, with how this one is built. But very often there would be a button that looks like this that isn't actually this button. So there would be another next button, maybe it'd be an arrow somewhere in here before a video ad and something else that then drops down the page, and then the real next button is here. But if you click the next button in the middle, it actually just gets them a click for whoever ad is paying per click, right? So there's lots of different variations of this that you'll see where somebody will say, will make you think this next button is the actual next button, but they're just making this ad look like a next button so that they can get paid for the click, because they're selling the advertising space and they get paid based on the impressions or the clicks that come from those ads specifically. So they're able to game the system by using a extra next button that this one is not doing on this web version, but the mobile phone did it like there's nothing but next buttons down the screen. And if I had Snapchat on my iPhone, then I'd show you via that, but I only keep Snapchat on my Android because it's for distraction purposes only. So this is another example of one of those. There's lots of examples of that really where, you know, you see it in health and fitness a lot where somebody has a long health and fitness article or whatever. And then somewhere in the middle of it, you know, they have something that is kind of like a curveball where it's telling you it's going to one thing when it's really going to something else. And that's, sometimes it can be done at the ad level, or sometimes it's done by the actual page that is, you know, setting it up to create those ads or create that ad space. Now, there's a variety of other ones, and these type of sites aren't really necessarily the worst ones. Now, the main point that I'm trying to point out here is that you end up paying for those clicks. You end up paying for those impressions that somebody just got fooled. So they end up clicking on the thing that they didn't actually want to click on. They push the back button really fast, but you still had to pay for that click, right? And sometimes they might get triggered, you know, several times. Now, there's a lot of other even more deceitful, even more powerful ways that these people can trigger these clicks, trigger these impressions, and you end up paying for an ad that literally did nothing for you. So this is a site where some people, lawless people, may come on to watch different sports games that may be live or may be recorded, and they can do so by, you know, try to bypass, you know, ESPN Plus's paywall or whatever the case may be. Now, just to show you an example of how these work. So I went to click on to open up one of these games. I'm not even sure which one I clicked on, but you saw that immediately as soon as I clicked, there was a pop under. So now this is somebody just paid for that ad that like I'm going to X out every time, right? So, but once I come in here and I click on these ads, probably another pop under somewhere. Nope, this one actually came up, right? So now I can show you what I'll intend to show you. So very often sites like this that they may be playing a live stream game, they may host a game that is like a replay, but they will set up systems like this where you are forced to click on this ad, right? So I click add close, and that triggers this click and this conversion for this ad, right? So they just got paid because I clicked that ads close, and then because maybe I have been on the site before. I understand that you need to click these in the certain order to make them go away so that now you can play the video. And obviously this video doesn't have, there's not actually a video here on this one, but these things are set up so that you end up triggering these ads. And there's lots of ones that do it. If you watch something like, 1-2-3 movies or, something else that is built to watch a whole bunch of shows, very often they just have pop-ups all over the place. And, I use ad blocker so that I block viruses and things like that on my computer, but very often you're forced to click on things, like you're forced to show your ad, you're forced to remove the ad blocker, and then you're forced to click on something in order to get where you're trying to go. So here's another fairly clever example of a site that hosts Premier League and other soccer replays, right? So other football replays. So on the site, obviously they have an ads model where they have an ad right here. They have ads all over the place. But this is not the real necessary genius of their setup here. So when games first come out, they will be posted right here and they'll be embedded, and they're embedded via a website called OK.ru, which is a Russian site that after like 24 to 74 hours, the game will be taken down. Like it'll be blocked via a copyright claim, right? And OKRU just has a little bit of a delay so that people can add their videos. Then after, a couple of days, it does get taken down. But this site adds links for these other sources that may last, they may last a week, they may last 2 weeks, they may never get taken down if it's not a big game. But what they're able to do, so if I or somebody who likes to watch Premier League replays comes on here a day or two after, maybe a week after, and this video is not embedded, they come down here and click through on these links to find the one that shows, will show it. So OKRU, if they've been on the site, they're probably not going to click on this one again because they can already tell that it's gone when this embed is gone. But if you click to say, let's go to Goo, it will take you to this BOMURL.com website, which is a crap website that they've created just to trigger these ads. So it makes you wait 10 seconds. So this just got a 10-second impression. This just got a 10-second impression. Netflix just paid for a 10-second impression. And then Monday.com, my great friends, they also just paid for me to look at that video. And I did, obviously the sound didn't play. Obviously if that wasn't Monday.com and I didn't know about it, and see, here's one of these local businesses that I was talking about where Capital Subaru Greensboro is paying for an ad that is useless to them, right? Completely useless. Luckily, they do a good enough job on this video of like actually showing their brand names and things so somebody could tell that this is an ad for them, right? But this is a useless ad that they should not be paying for. Nobody, when they're trying to watch a Premier League game, cares about this car buying thing, and like they're never going to hear it, right? So I click, I go through to the download page and look at this. Oh, so clever, right? So they have another double impression banners right here. Another impression banners right here that I've been forced to wait 10 seconds to click through, right? And then this second video ad, which now these guys, because I'm off of this page so soon, I don't even know who they are, right? Bear Skin Chat, I'm not sure. I'm not going to wait around to see their product, right? I've gone ahead and clicked through to Go Video. And then I'm able to see that. And because this video has nothing on it that is telling me what this brand name is, that was a completely wasted impression and, like something that they had to pay for. Now, for certain brands, very often when I come on here, Papa John's or, Uber Eats or something like that that I'm actually using that probably has me cookied and is retargeting me, is very often showing a banner ad like this. But unless you're one of these big brands like Budweiser, like Nike, like, Papa John's, where you just want to be the name, when somebody thinks pizza, they think of you. When somebody thinks, sports apparel, they think of you. Whatever your specific industry is, then you need to make sure, this is distracting me now, you need to make sure that you have the budget for the branding, you know, for just like putting your brand name out there, as opposed to like, hey, we need to get customers based on this. Those are two completely different plays. Branding certainly has its use, but very often I see smaller budget companies that end up paying for these crap ads that are literally doing nothing for them. You know, an example being that Greensboro Subaru company that you just saw in that video ad here, that is not useful to them, because there's people who are on Google who are searching, I want a freaking Subaru. Who's got the cheapest Subaru near me? And that would be a much better use of their ad dollars than, you know, some rando who's trying to literally watch a sports game. And now I don't even have to watch your ad. You just get tricked into paying for me watching for the ad, which is, you know, an unfortunate circumstances. Obviously, these people are clever or deceitful, however you want to look at them. But it's, you know, their business model, and this is one of thousands, maybe millions of sites like this that very often these auctions with these display ads are inflated. Like, this is a quality ad provider right here. I think this is what solo ads look like. And it's, let me just click on this real quick. And it's really easy to sell them. They're the oldest type of internet advertising out there, and you can have some nice gamed stats similar to how TV or radio ads sell these bogus, like, oh, you get this much viewership, and you don't know that when they're talking about TV viewership, if a TV is on playing your, you know, whatever commercial that you've got playing, if a TV is on, they assume, and the way that the stats are calculated and the way that they'll present them to you is that every TV that's on showing that commercial, they give you 2.5 people have watched that. And like, that's not the reality of the situation. Very often there's TVs that are on in homes for 6 hours straight with no one watching them, as opposed to the opposite where like, really all the family's watching the TV all day. Like, no, like, I remember my mom used to watch soap operas by herself, right? That's every single day that she watched soap operas, it was by herself. And it's much more rare. I think I think one person watching the TV is much more common than 2 or 3 people watching the TV. Now, obviously within certain circumstances or homes that may not be true, but certainly those type of stats are gamed. And in the same way, display ads is an older type of internet marketing forum is similarly gamed, where they're telling you that you're getting these impressions, but you just saw the quality of that impression, right? They're telling you that you're getting these clicks, but you just saw the quality of those clicks. And because it's old, because it's pretty basic or outdated, it's really easy to game in this way. So you must understand by now that I think, at least, banner ads suck. Whether you are convinced by now, you know, is not necessarily my responsibility, but I just want to make this video so that I could send it to, you know, that Subaru dealer that you just saw. I'm probably going to send it to Monday.com as well, because, you know, I love Monday.com and I use them, and obviously I'm seeing that ad because I'm cookied to them, but they don't need to be paying for these crap ads, and should probably be using another strategy, and the same probably goes for you. So you can go ahead and like and subscribe to my stuff if you want it. If not, that's cool too. Of course, if you need help with SEO, I'm always here to serve you. And until next time, I love you. Peace.